Well, Black and White Network, we know that Fani Willis out there in Georgia wants the Donald Trump RICO case trial to start sometime this summer. Now, me, myself, I'm not a lawyer, but I even said there is no way in the world that this case is actually going to happen in 2024. I mean, she's talking about the summer. I mean, we're basically almost in April already, so like 3 months. No, this thing is not going to happen. For one thing, Fani Willis may not even be on this case because Judge Scott McAfee has already said, and he's agreed to, that, hey, Trump, you can't appeal my decision to actually leave Fani Willis on this case. So how in the world is Fani Willis actually going to start a trial when she may not even be on this case? Doesn't make any sense, right? It really doesn't. Now, we have to see if this appeals court actually takes up Trump's appeal. I guess we'll find out probably in the next several weeks or so. But then they'll say, all right, we're going to actually hear this appeal. But when will they actually get to the actual hearing of that appeal? It could take a while. It could take a long while. So in my opinion, there is no way that this trial will start. And the goal of Fani Willis is to actually start the trial, get a conviction, because she truly does believe that a conviction is in the bag in Fulton County. We're talking about a super blue county. They're going to put a whole bunch of people that hate Trump in that jury. And by the way, jury selection, how long would that actually take, man? Because this is an unprecedented case right here. You're talking about picking a jury to basically convict a former president. We've never seen this before. That could take a very, very long time as well. This case is not going to happen in 2024. And I believe that Fani Willis is eventually going to get removed. I truly do believe that. So not happening before the election, the whole point of this is really to get the trial started, get a conviction before the election, because Democrats believe that, oh, that's going to hurt Trump. I don't believe it will actually hurt Trump, man. I really don't. Because the more they go after Trump, the more popular he becomes, and the better his poll numbers actually get. I mean, Trump at this point right now is running away in the polls. Right now, it will be a landslide victory. You mean to tell me that a conviction, like in the New York case, for example, Stormy Daniels, you really think that's going to make people say, nah, I'm not going to vote Trump? No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So let's get into it, guys. Ashley Merchant was actually on with Fox News. She gives an interview, and we're going to react to it. So make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Member live stream every single Friday. Starts at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for just $5 per month. If you're watching on Rumble, click the join button, get access to the same thing. So here we go. Lawyer who exposed Fani Willis relationship says no way Trump case goes forward before election. I completely agree. So let's go ahead and play this clip here on Fox News. Let's roll it.
I don't feel like my reputation needs to be reclaimed. Let's say it for the record. I'm not embarrassed by anything I've done. I guess my greatest crime is I had a relationship with a man. All while that was going on, we were writing responsive briefs. We were still doing the case in the way that it needed to be done. I don't feel like we've been slowed down at all. I do think that there are efforts to slow down this train, but the train is coming.
The train is coming. Fulton County, Georgia DA Fani Willis says she's not embarrassed by her near DQ disqualification in her first public comments after the Nathan Wade scandal and the hearings, and now has a new warning for Donald Trump. Our next guest initiated the effort to remove Willis from the Georgia election interference case against Trump and his co-defendants, one of whom she represents. And Ashley Merchant joins us from her office down in Georgia right now. Ashley, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay. She was defiant. The train is coming, and she's not embarrassed at all. What do you make of that?
That was a little surprising. I think I would be embarrassed if I had an affair with a married man and it was on national TV. But, hey, that's okay. I understand the train is coming. We're ready. We will be ready whenever the case goes to trial. Hopeful that it doesn't interfere with everything else that's going on in the world. But we're ready when the case comes forward.
Right. She says that she's got prosecutors essentially who are still working on the case, but it just hangs in the balance because we don't know where it's going to go. Can you bring us up to speed on where we are in this case? Because last we heard Judge McAfee, the guy who said, okay, it's either Wade or Willis, one of you's got to leave. It sounds like he's weighing a bunch of different stuff. You want this to go to an appeals court to say, hey, she's got to get off the case, right?
Right. And that's where we are really, Steve. The Judge McAfee said, well, there's a lot here, but I'm not going to find that she's DQ'd. So the case is now going to go up to the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals can decide. They can either send it back and say, you know what, you are disqualified. You need a new prosecutor. They can send it back and say, Judge McAfee, you actually made some errors. We think the actual improprieties here is enough, and tell him to go ahead and fix it. Or they could say, we're not going to decide this, and then it's going to go up to the Supreme Court. So, it's not going to be decided quickly. It's going to take at least a couple months for this to work its way through the system to determine whether or not she actually is disqualified.
Okay, so does this happen before the election?
I don't see any way that this could happen before the election. The appellate process takes about 6 months once it's initiated, and we're not even there yet. We're still early on in the stages, so I don't see how it could happen that quickly. Plus, Ms. Willis has charged this case extremely overbroad. And so no trial is going to happen and be resolved before the election. So what they're looking at is actually having someone running for office, running for the office of president, being on trial. That's unheard of.
Right.
Yeah. So right there, guys, she said that this process, the appellate process, 6 months. We're roughly like, let's just say April right now, May, June, July, August, September, October, 7 months away from the election. 7 months away. There is no way that this case is going to trial in 2024. Not going to happen. Fani Willis is trying to rush the process when she may not even be around. Anyway, let's continue on.
Ashley, right now it looks like the case of the 4 cases facing Donald Trump right now, it looks like the strongest case to happen before the election actually has a court appearance today. Donald Trump's going to be in a courtroom here in Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, later today as they try to figure out exactly what the schedule will be for the hush money Stormy Daniels case.
Now, just in case you guys don't know, the Stormy Daniels case, extremely weak. If anything, this was a misdemeanor. I believe even Andrew Cuomo even said that. But Alvin Bragg decided to, let's make this a felony. So, and it's extremely weak, man. This won't have any impact on Trump at all winning the presidency.
I know it's hard to keep track of all the different cases, but and I know you don't think it is a strong case, but it probably is going to happen before the election, right?
There's a chance. This is the most likely case. If something's going to happen before the election, this is the case that it's going to happen on. Right. But, this is by far the weakest case, in my opinion, out of all of the cases. And so it's ironic that this is the one that they're pushing forward and this is the one that's going to be heard. Right. The issue, though, is not delay caused by the defense. And that's one of the things that a lot of people are saying, oh, well, the defense is asking for a continuance. Right. No, it's actually the state that is just now handing over additional evidence. So if they wanted this case to push forward quickly, they could have gotten all that evidence together. Right. The state can coordinate with the government and get all of this information, have it ready to go forward early on, and then you're not having all of these delays. But they're creating opportunities for the defense to say, we're not ready, and that's reasonable.
Well, and as we were talking to a former state prosecutor a little while ago, ultimately the Trump side's going to say, look, there's over 100,000 documents, and then Alvin Bragg is going to say there's only like 300 that really are germane to this. So let's see what happens. But ultimately, it comes down to the case where it sounds like Alvin Bragg asked the people who looked into Michael Cohen They said, hey, give us all the stuff you got on it. And apparently they didn't until the 11th hour. And it sounds like the feds, when they were doing the prosecuting of this guy, it sounded like they were reluctant to go forward and charge Mr. Trump because in that particular hush money case, the star witness would be Michael Cohen, who has some credibility problems, they say.
Right. And there's two things there. So Michael Cohen is the star witness. Right. That's the evidence that you need more than anything. You need that evidence. And that's what they've been withholding. Plus, even if they're saying there's only 300 relevant documents, that doesn't mean that there's not a document that's relevant to the defense. The prosecutors aren't in the defense's head. So if they give thousands of documents, the defense lawyers have a duty to look at all of those documents, not to say, oh, well, government, you think those 300 are the relevant ones. Right. We're just going to trust you on that. And we're going to ignore the rest of them. That's ridiculous. They have a job to do. They have to look at every page of that document.
So there you have it, guys. There you have it. that New York case, man, they're really depending on Michael Cohen. Yeah, no liar. But right there, Fani Willis, man, that is a brutal reality check right there. No way in the world this case is happening in 2024, especially, and Judge Scott McAfee even has to know that, okay, if the appeals court actually accepts this, there's no way in the world we can actually start a trial because they say, hey, she's disqualified. It wouldn't make any sense to even start the trial with her. None whatsoever, man. Yeah, but that's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.